Yo guys, I'm Sean Chuma. We're here in Twin Falls, getting ready to show you guys how to do a TARD. It's one way of doing an unpacked jump. TARD is an acronym that stands for Totally Awesome Rapid Deployment. It's a pretty cool way of just going out and getting more canopy time, being able to do drills, and it's a way that you don't have to pack. Don't get excited and think that you're gonna go doing TARDs off of everything, because it can be much more dangerous. The heading performance can suffer. And so if you're gonna do this, trust me, it's something that you're just gonna do here at the bridge for a long time. Any unpacked jump you do, you're gonna get it ready just like we're about to do. So with a TARD, we wanna have either a light tailwind or no wind at all, because when we swing it up, we want the canopy to blow away from us. We don't want a headwind, because when we swing it out there, it can blow back into us and snag on our helmet, our GoPro, chest strap, all that stuff, and it can become very dangerous. So here we go. I've got my brakes stowed in the same brake setting that I normally use. So this is a Hey Duke from Squirrel. It's a badass canopy. And I use the middle setting because that's what I like. Okay, I've got my brakes set in the normal setting that I use. I usually use a deep brake setting for all of my slider down stuff. I just grab, like I'm gonna do a pro pack, I run the lines up, with the front riser lines separated from the rear riser lines and also separated from the steering lines. I just run them up. Shake it out, and then I like to make sure all the lines are separated here. So just lift up on each of them. So I joined them into one hand, and then I go ahead and put it on my shoulder. So now the next thing I'm going to do is count out the cells on the nose. So I like to get those real clean. So I get them all out first, and then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I grab down, maybe 3/4 of the way down on the nose, and I like to separate the A's from the rest of the lines here. So A lines and then the rest here. Then I do a big whip. That way I can put the nose in between my knees, and then I can just start flaking in between the A's and the B's. So I've gone around the whole canopy, it's all flaked out, right? It looks good. Now I'm gonna tailgate it. So I'm gonna grab all the lines that are connected to the tail of the canopy. These are the ones that you steer with. So I grab all those, and then I'm gonna grab the inside D lines. So right from the middle there, I join those with the other lines. And then I grab the inside C lines from the middle. And then you can either use a tailgate or tape. My tailgate fell off, so I got a piece of masking tape here. And we'll just wrap it a couple times. Let's say about, 2, 2.5, maybe 3 times with a 1-inch masking tape, or just use your tailgate. Now, so I've got it tailgated while it's standing up, and now I'm going to go ahead and do a big primary stow, because this is going to be your handle, the part that you grab when you swing. So watch how I do my hands. This is the easy way to do it. You can also struggle with it, but nobody wants to struggle, so if you can learn this move, it's gonna be a lot easier. So I grab these lines, and I got the tail in my hand too, the tail pocket. Then I'm just gonna lift it up, and I'm gonna step out to the right side of it, and just set the canopy on the ground a little bit, so I'm not exhausting my shoulder. From here, what I can do is I just kinda roll my thumb up and let it hang off of there, and then I grab here at the bottom of this, so that, that's about, what is that, maybe 4 or 5 inches. I grab around that bite in the lines. It's bigger than a normal primary stow. And I just put the rubber band over my pointer finger and my thumb, and then I put it over my whole hand like that. That way I can grab this primary stow, the bite, and pull the rubber band down to the base of the canopy. So it's almost down to the condom wrappers. And then I go ahead and grab the bite with my left hand again. Then I pull here, put it over the fingers again, over the thumb, and there we go. And then the next move is just to lay it down, just like this. And the pack job is done. Once we get this on, we're gonna have our hands full. So it's good to put all your stuff away. Make sure you put your stash bag in the actual back of the rig or somewhere in your pocket, because a lot of people forget their stash bags when they go do these. It's best to put your helmet on right now also. And then what we do is I just pick up the rig and I step in between the risers. And then I just get inside the container. So this container is a KN from Squirrel. It's pretty badass. And then I want to make sure that I get everything on properly. So the chest strap doesn't go any tighter than you normally would. Some people, it feels looser because you don't have the canopy back there, but we want to put it about the same as we would normally have it. And then you can crank down your leg straps. And then the next thing to do is I always check my brakes again to make sure they're good. And then I always make sure that the 3 rings are hooked up right, so I'm not going to get released from the risers. Those look good. And now I'm going to grab just right above the bumpers here with my left hand, and then I'm just going to back up and take the slack out of the lines. So I just walk right up the right side of the lines, and I'm going to grab this primary stow just like I'm shaking hands with it. So I just grab it with the crotch of my thumb and pointer finger facing up, and I want to choke up pretty high on that grip. So I've got the rubber band kind of like right in the middle of my hand. Then I stand the canopy up, and then at this point I can let go of the risers here, and I just reach down and grab around the lines here. And without gripping too tight, I just kind of slide my hand down about maybe this far, because I'm gonna make a big coil first. It's gonna be big coil, medium, and then a small one. So I grab it like this, and then I bring my knuckles to my palm here so I can put the lines in my hand. So there's the first one. See, it's not any farther than, it's maybe 3/4 of the way down to the top of the canopy, to the top of the cells there. You don't want it going over the cells. So the next one is gonna be a little smaller. And then the last one, you go up to the bumpers almost, and it's smaller still. So you've got the small one laying on top of the medium one, which is laying on top of the large one. So when we're going out to the bridge, carrying it, you can exhaust your forearm. So there's definitely a cool way to carry it out there without using all your energy. And since this is called a TARD and you end up hugging it, we call it the hug-a-TARD method. And what we do is just grab the tail, wrap it around like you're cocooning the canopy, and then kind of reach down pretty low on it, and you're just gonna roll this about 4 or 5 times, and then you just lift up above your head. Then I let go with my left hand and just hug around it so that I can rest my hand on my right elbow, and then I can relax my right hand. All right, before we actually do the jump and before we put our canopy over the rail, we want to just check a few things. So I always look to make sure my risers are connected. You know, the 3 ring is looking good. And then I want to also make sure that there's no lines under my toggle right there, because that can shear it off. Also, I look at the nose to make sure it's looking clean. I can see the nose back in there. I'm always going to have that pointed towards me when I'm swinging it. And then I count, I'm just going to go through the canopy real quick. So I got 1, 2, 3 folds. I look in here and I can still see that my tailgate is done and all the lines are towards the center. Then I look on this side, that all looks good, and I've got 1, 2, 3 folds. Looks good, and my lines are looking nice and clean. So sometimes this thing slides out, so it's good to choke your hand up a little more, just because it actually makes it easier to swing. In order to practice doing this TARD, it's good to practice a few times on something like this picnic table. And basically, when I'm swinging this thing, I want to make sure that the nose is pointed right back at me, because that's your heading performance. So I can see my nose. I like to grab the tail right here, that way it's easier and to put over the rail. So I lift it up, and then I can just push the canopy over the rail, and then I'll climb over. It's good to have your canopy on the other side. That way if you fall, then the canopy's already on the other side with you. A couple of other things, out there on the bridge, we have bolts that hold the rail down, so we don't want to have the canopy close to those bolts, because when you swing the canopy, it could snag on those. I put it over the rail. Remember to split the bolts, lift it above the toes, and then also when I'm swinging it, I actually like to keep my elbow up a little bit, because I want my pivot point to be in front of me so that it's not slapping against my legs every time like this, because it just kills the swing. I want that pivot point to be out there a bit so I can build the swing. So here's how it looks. The practice one would be like this. Ready, set, go. And then you drop under it, watch the canopy, get the hands out of there, wait till it gets the line stretched, and then you can do your thing. So if you liked what you saw and you want to see more tutorial videos like this, leave a comment letting us know what you would like us to show you. And also, if you would like to take more advanced training and become a base ninja, then look up seanchuma.com and you can sign up for courses on there. There's FJCs, there's advanced courses that's custom tailored to your current skill level.